Hello, Cam on English lovers. This is Rita Greco from Italy.
And now Tony Carl from Brazil and the administrator of the group.
And of course, our brother from Tunisia, Tony's friend, Bilal Ben Salah. Let's talk.
Hello, my dearest friends from Tunisia and Rita Greco from Italy. How's it going, y'all? Please, one by one. Welcome, by the way, Rita.
Thank
And by
you.
the way,
Welcome the same to you. Well, my life is going well enough. Yeah, I can complain because I am in a good health. I have no particular problems, and so yeah, I have to accept my normality. So that's my philosophy.
so we are in good shape. All right, Rita. Nice to hear this. Okay, how about you, Bilal Ben? How's it going, buddy?
Thank you for asking. I'm very sick from the weather. Here it's raining.
It's raining, Bilal.
About now 3
Mhm,
days,
mhm.
raining without stop.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
what happened.
Oh, Bilal, I think this belongs to the climate change, which everyone is complaining nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Guys, because I still remember, not back in science, let's say 2 years ago, remember our meetings, previous meetings. I was talking about, for example, 4 seasons in Brazil. Summer, 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 summer. Today's hot, and we are having autumn instead of summer. Like this, yes. So you can get flu easily, right, Bilal? Because of
Yeah.
the exchange, hot, cold, cold, hot, When you see your
Problem
flu,
is raining and the weather, how to say, the temperature is not very high.
it's not very high. Yeah, it's colder now.
Yes, it's cold,
Okay, Bilal.
especially at
Okay.
night.
Especially at night. Okay. So let's get started. And then I can share with you guys these quotes, okay? Rita, you are our wise woman, wise friend from Italy, okay? This quote, Rita, from Joseph Campbell, please. Could you read it for us, Rita?
Yes, this quote from Joseph Campbell's Reflections on the Art of Living, 1991, advises accepting the world's inherent, unavoidable chaos while choosing personal joy. It promotes a warrior's approach, participating in life's sorrows without being crushed by them, focusing on internal transformation rather than fixing the world. Yeah, very nice, very,
Okay,
very
yeah.
important.
Uh-huh. Okay, keys, guys, keys, themes, and question exploring the quote, okay? Joy as a choice. Joy is viewed not as a result of perfection, but as deliberate daily decisions to be made regardless of your circumstances. Beloved, please. Beloved,
Yeah, absolutely.
the warriors,
You
please
know,
continue. Okay, then we can explore.
you
Continue,
know,
please. Uh-huh.
we cannot cure the world of sorrows, but we can choose to
Yes,
live in joy. Like you mentioned,
yes,
about the theme of this meeting.
yes. Okay, life is not perfect, okay, but we can take some kind of steps that can become easier for us to, to continue to follow our paths, right? Okay, below, could you please read this one? The warrior's approach, please.
The warrior approach, this concept often cited alongside the code, involves saying yes to life,
July. Mhm.
in- including its pain rather than fleeing from it.
Yes. Fictions versus living. I like this, Rita. The quote asks us to consider whether we should focus our limited energy on changing the uncontrollable world, or on mastering our own lives and inner experiences. Yes. Okay, Rita, meaning of sorrows, please.
Meaning of sorrows. It acknowledges the inevitable nature of suffering, a core Buddhist concept, and urges us to engage with rather than ignore this pain.
Yes. Okay, let's go to our question. Okay. Rita, how can I choose to find joy in a difficult situation today? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not an easy exercise, this one, but anyway, we have to consider that our life certainly is not a bed of roses.
Mhm.
For the first moment we were born, we arrive in this world crying, okay? And so the first expression of our life is a cry of sorrow, of pain, okay? Baby cries, not laugh or smile. And
Mhm.
so this is the starting point of our life. And then we have to learn how to accept. So when there is something tragic or something difficult in my life, and I have crossed many of these moments, the first thing that I try to do is not to go into panic, okay? But trying to speak with other people who I love and that love me, of course, okay, in order to explain what is happening. And then another quote that is very, very helpful for me is this one: tomorrow is another day.
Mhm.
Today it seems tragic, impossible to live with, but tomorrow will be different because
Mhm.
tomorrow is another day. So
Mhm.
this is maybe a stupid quotation, but it helps me a lot.
Mhm. Also, I'd like to add this, okay, guys? You can cultivate joy by savoring small moments, right? Like you said, Rita. Let's live day by day, okay? In other words, okay? For example, today was hard for us. Let's see tomorrow if we can fix it or living better, take some kind of advantage on this problem that you are facing, for example. In a better hope for tomorrow, let's say, okay? And savor all our good moments that you have in life. Like I said, remember one day, happiness is every little piece of moment that you are living, okay? By that
Yeah.
moment, by this moment, for example, chatting with my friends, cooking with my wife, walking over on the streets or going for shoppings and, et cetera, et cetera, okay? Billy Ben, what's your take on this, please, bro? Question number one.
Well, let me say this. For me, recognizing that pain and challenges are part of life,
Mm-hmm.
um, yet refusing to let them steal our spirit. What do you think?
Okay, dissolve Bilal. Okay, let's just a moment, guys. Keep on talking, Rita. I think Eric is having problem. Eric.
Me?
Yeah,
Even
I'm waiting for Eric,
you know,
and his students. Okay, Eric.
Rita,
Mm-hmm.
Rita,
Please.
even in hard moments, we can pause and look for something small that bring comfort and joy to our life. Maybe
Yes.
even, kind words from someone
Mm-hmm.
or a
Mm-hmm.
piece of
Mm-hmm.
music we love.
Yes, Bilal, you're right. Guys, I have a question for you. When you are feeling sad, for example, blue, let's say blue, okay? What do you do for relieve stress or sadness? What's the best way to relieve this, to get rid of this sadness? Please, Rita.
Well, what I said before, Tony,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I think that this moment will pass. I'm sure, because nothing in life in general is endless, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is temporary. And so I have to be patient, and I'm sure that this very big sorrow, that very big tragic moment
Mm-hmm.
will pass, okay? But in this kind of a moment, in this particular moment of my life, or the life in general,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need some help. So the presence of the other people is really important, fundamental. The
Uh-huh.
presence of friends, of person who you love, person in general, I don't know. Not, of
Mm-hmm.
course, acquaintances or just, but close friends, siblings, relatives,
Mm-hmm.
person who are focused on your pain and can help you.
Rita, tell me, how can we get rid of this stubborn sorrows? For example, some problems they are not so easy to get rid of, okay? Yes. Some of them, no, okay. Some problem we can, it's okay, can easily fix, okay, or overcome. But some problems, they seems to be living forever, yeah, living lasting, I don't know, something like this.
Yeah.
How to use your wise words, Rita. How can we get rid of this kind of situation, stubborn problems? Mhm.
Tony, it's not an easy question, this one, because
Not easy, yes.
when a person crosses a tragic moment in his life, so
Mhm.
it seems that nothing can be solved, nothing it can be happy again. Above all, when a person has lost the death, for example, when
Mhm.
someone dies. So this is a very important moment in our life.
Yes.
When you lose something that someone who you love. But anyway, in this case, your faith, for example, your belief in God or in a supernatural can help you. For me,
Mhm.
for example, faith is something that helps me.
Mhm.
I am not a person who, I am a Christian Catholic person, but I
Mhm.
don't follow church. I don't go to mass. I
Mhm.
don't pray very, very much. I have
Mhm.
a sort of dialogue, personal dialogue with with my God. Okay, and so this helps me sometimes because I remember the figure of my mommy always with the praying. Repeating as a mantra, the
Yeah, I know.
prayers,
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
Sometimes this kind of actions can help you to smooth a bit your sorrow or your pain, okay?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
anyway, just time can give you a sort of serenity or a sort of new but very different happiness.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, retired with you. Okay. I think the best way is to believe in God,
Yeah,
for giving us a hand, okay? In the right
yeah.
time, okay? How about you, Bilal, please?
Well, in difficult moments, I'm always, seek,
Mhm.
kind words from friends.
Yes.
Maybe, being sometimes, being alone or going to, long walks to have to say to refresh and to
To
think.
refresh us, to relieve,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. You're right,
could
truly.
help a lot.
Yes, guys, every people react different. Every person react
Yeah,
different, right? Yeah, of
yeah,
others, for example. I have my own way, okay? I like walking, to relieve stress, of course. When I'm feeling sadness, for example, if I'm facing kind of troubled waters, I like watching a series, listen to music. It helps a lot, okay? Of course, we have to keep our praise, right? Our praise.
yeah.
Keeping our praise, okay, all the time, And hoping for the best, of course. Let's go for number two questions, okay? Rita is in box, okay? What does it mean to participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world without becoming overwhelmed? Nice question, yes?
Yeah, nice, very nice question,
Very
this
nice.
one,
Go,
because
Rita, please.
because it depends on the personality of the people, of the person, okay? Because sometimes you can come across people who are totally disinterested, that they are not focused on what is happening around us in the world. There's climate changing, climate warning, the
Mhm.
violence, the wars, or things like that. And
Yes.
just sometimes, I think that they live in a very ideal island, okay? Ideal circle where nothing can disturb them because they are not sensitive, they are totally disinterested. But
Yeah.
anyway, sometimes I think, for example, to doctors and they job. Okay,
Mhm.
when you are a doctor and you are so in contact with the pain, the sorrows of your patient, you have to be well trained in order not to be distressed and not to be submerged of this a lot of pain. And it's the same when I think about what is around me in the world. Okay, I
Mhm.
have to train myself because sometimes I feel in myself a sort of a panic, a sort of tragedy, because I know that what is happening in America, for example, or in Gaza, or in Nigeria, or in many other parts of the world, okay, something that can be is overwhelmed me, and so I have to put myself in another dimension and tell myself, well, Rita, stop, relax, slow down, because surely other people, young people, they will think about how to solve this kind of problems. Okay, so the hope.
The hope, yes.
The hope is a very important medicine.
Yes.
Hoping that some other people, some other young people above all, they can be able to solve, to change, to destroy this kind of world and at last living in peace. Yeah.
Guys, I took notes of something very interesting here. Okay, let me read it for you. Participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world means staying fully engaged with lifespan, okay? Both personal and global without becoming paralyzed by it, okay? This belongs to Joseph Campbell. It involves acknowledging suffering as part of the human experience, like you said, okay? And engage with it to find meaning, connection, and hope, like I said, okay? Rather than numbing oneself as despairing. Nice one. Bilal, what's your points, please, bro? My bro from Tunisia.
Well, it means that acknowledge sorrow without drowning in it.
Mhm.
And it means being present with others in their pain, offering compassion and support, but holding into our own inner light.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number 3, guys. What do you think about these questions? Just 5 questions, then we go for Eric questions. Okay. Number 3. Okay. Where am I wasting energy trying to fix something that is outside my control? Rita, do you think
Uh,
everything is under control or no? For
No,
example, no, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely no. But when I realize that something is out of my control, I give up. Okay, because
Yeah.
if I try all my best in order to solve, to determine something, but it's impossible. So
Mhm.
I give up, and so I try to accept the reality
Yes.
in its dimension. And so I try to find a reason, a motivation in order to accept this kind of situation.
Mhm. Yes. Guys, don't try to control the fate. Yes? Yes, Bilal? Do you believe in fate, Bilal? Guys, it's
Of
kind of
course.
hard. It's kind of hard to control our lives, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for example, you have intelligence, okay, which is called intelligence. Let's live day by day, okay, guys? Something that cannot be fixed, let go, like Rita said, okay? Yeah,
yeah,
Rita? hmm Bilal, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me be honest with you.
hmm
Sometimes I spend too much energy worrying about others, people, problems, or
Oh, yeah.
choices,
Oh, yeah.
or about problems that are bigger than me,
Oh,
which
yes.
lead me sometimes to overthinking, which
Oh,
is
yeah, Bilal.
very negative. It's
hmm
draining our energy.
hmm
But
yeah,
Yeah,
let
Bilal.
me tell you this: recognizing that I can't control everything frees me to focus on
hmm
what I can do, my
hmm
own action, attitude,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
way I respond.
Yeah. Bilal, you're right, totally. Totally right, Bilal.
Thank you.
Because you are likely wasting energy trying to fix things outside your control by focusing on the actions, thoughts, and feelings of other people. Yes. Yeah, guys, other thing that I'd like to add in here, okay? Don't try to fix people's problems or issues, okay? Let them live their lives, right? Right, Bilal? Bilal, you're right,
yeah,
totally, totally right, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally
Absolutely.
agree with you.
Because sometimes we feel like overwhelmed because of people's problems that is not our problems, okay? Yes. I have, Rita, I have listened many stories on YouTube channel of parents. They are too much overwhelmed because they try to teach their kids or, daughter and sons to live their life because they are adults. They are already adults, okay? Let them live
Yeah,
their lives, instead of
yeah,
overwhelming yourself with your children problems or issues. Let them learn the life, yes, because
yeah,
our lives is a huge classroom, okay, or school, okay.
yeah, definitely.
All right, let's go for number four. Rita, want to add something more? Okay,
Number four, there is
number four
enough
now.
number
Okay,
four.
number four.
Number
Yes.
five. Number five.
Can
Now,
you read
yeah,
it,
yeah.
please?
How can I shift my focus from waiting for happiness to creating it internally?
Internally,
Yeah,
yes, creating it
yeah.
internally. Yeah. Can I shift my
Well,
focus?
I I think that also in order to answer to this kind of question, we need a sort of preparation in our life, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that depends always on the personality of the person we are treating on. But anyway, I think that meditation is a very important method in methodology in order to create a sort of internal happiness in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you stop just for a moment in your day life and stop and think about yourself and try to put yourself in front of a mirror and recognize the limits but also the positive aspects of yourself. So this is something that helps you to be happier, okay, to be more
Mm-hmm.
calm and to be more satisfied of the life around you. So meditation is something that is a sort of complex. Inside meditation, I put on, for example, music, listening music, and also doing what you love.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
so this is something that can make you happy when you
happiness.
when you can create with your love what you
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you explain yourself with your love, in what you love, okay? So I think that is really important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
then another things that I believe very important to be glad, to be happy about what you have. Okay? If you have a good family, if you have a good health, if you have good friends, these are part of a very important, acceptable, happy life.
Yes. Yes, yeah, you said well, it. To increase our inner peace, we have to be in peace. Yes, let's say we have to be in peace with ourselves. Yes, in peace with ourselves in our
Yeah,
hearts. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Totally relieved of stress and not worried about other people's problem. Yes.
yeah.
Because, guys, I don't know about you, Rita and Bilal. In Brazil, we are facing nowadays, for example, this year it will be presidential election, okay?
Mhm.
People are worried so much about who will win, who will win the elections, okay? But people are trying to overwhelming themselves with something that they can't control, like this, okay? And then they start fighting, arguing on the internet because of this. I saw
Yeah.
many comments below the post, of talking about politics. Who is the best president? Blah blah blah. Guys, there is no best president. President, you have to get by yourself here, because nobody's worried about us. Okay, nobody.
No, but the perfect president doesn't exist because perfection is
No,
not of this
no,
life. But
no, no.
anyway, we have to tend, above all, if we are political person, political people, we have
Mhm.
to tend to perfection, okay? Because we should be, above all, honest, not go to compromise, and trying to live in order to make the happiness or the welfare of the people
Mhm.
who belongs to us, okay? So this is a really important fundamental attitude and skills of a good president. And then we have to remember that the president is a man. And so as a man, he has a lot of limits and probably more probably, more likely, he will do a lot of errors. He will make a lot of errors, okay? But if he is an honest person, so many things will be forgotten
Yes.
and will be,
Yeah, because especially, guys, especially because politicians, they promise too much, but they don't
yeah,
give you anything, okay? They
absolutely,
don't deliver
absolutely,
anything at all, guys. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Bilal, what's your points, bro, please?
Well, you know, happiness for me is something we could generate, not something we wait for.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of waiting the circumstances to change, I can, having happiness by practicing gratitude, noticing beauty in everyday life, and choosing
Okay.
thoughts that uplift us.
Bilal, you're right. You are a poet. Yes, Bilal, you're right.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Guys, yeah, we have to fabricate ourselves our happiness,
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't expect from
you're right.
people.
You're
Don't
right.
expect, for
Yeah.
example, don't expect from cheap people, to be happy, Yeah, live your moment. Yeah, Bilal, you're right. Live your moment, live your day by day, of course, yes. Yeah, live your life, yes. Don't worry about other people' opinions, yes. Rita, do you know the difference between a pizza and people's opinion, Rita? Do you?
What? What?
Do you know the difference between a pizza and people's opinion? Do you?
Pizza and
Do you know the difference between a pizza
pi-
and
pizza?
people's
Yeah.
opinion?
People.
And people's opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how to answer to this kind of
It's
question.
kind of easy, It's kind of easy.
Yeah,
Rita, pizza, I order. Okay?
yeah, yeah.
People's opinion, I don't care. Yes. Yeah. People's opinion, Rita, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't order people's opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, pizza, I order. Pizza, I order. That's the question.
It's order.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the response here, okay? Let's go for number five, Bilal. Ben, could you please read it, Bilal? Number five.
Okay.
Number five.
What would it look like for me to fully embrace my life with all its inherent,
Inherent
inherent, inherent imperfect mess?
mess. Yes.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
mess.
Good question. Good
Yeah,
question.
what would you like
It
for
would
me
mean
to fully embrace my life with all its inherent imperfect mess? Yes, okay, Bilal, please.
yeah. It would mean accepting that my life is not perfect.
Mhm.
To be meaningful. Embracing mess means celebrating my unique journey, learning from mistakes,
Mhm.
and finding joy in imperfect moments that make me human, first place.
Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah.
truly agree, Bilal.
Uh, yeah, I think that this question is the perfect intelligent conclusion of this conversation, of the
Mhm.
conversation of this evening. Okay, because how is possible to embrace in our very limited and sometimes wrong life all this mess, all these mistakes, all these very tragic things? Well, we have to accept, as Bilal has said,
Yeah.
we have to accept, but also we have to be grateful for what we have because
Mhm.
we are lucky person. We are lucky person. Sometimes I think about the people living in Gaza, for example, or in Iran, or also in America, but also in other parts of the world. Okay, without freedom under the bombs, with a lot of problems from a healthy point of view, from an economic point of view, and I say thank God because I live in a free country. I have my salary, I have my sons, I have my granddaughters, I have my husband, I have my friends. I love a lot of things. So what
Mhm.
can I can have more? Okay, I
Mhm.
have all. I have a lot of things. I have all what I need, and so this is a very important a session for me. Okay.
Yes. Guys, how about we pick up our imperfections, this imperfect mess, and transform to a nice joy, okay? How about this, Bilal? Because everyone here is imperfect, okay? We learn
Yeah.
with our mistakes, of course. This is life. Life is life, okay? How about we pick up our imperfections and transform this imperfection in joy, you know? Of course, guys, because we learn from our mistakes. And one day, Rita, you'll be laughing at your mistakes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you was so easy, but I couldn't see, but now I see it. Okay? Now I know everything. So you're happy because you overcame, okay? I think the term is right, is overcame this problem, the situation. Now you are a better person, of course. You're happier now because you overcome this problem back in time, back in
Tony,
past.
Tony,
Mhm.
yeah, depends on a lot of factors. Depends on a
Yes.
lot of,
Describe them,
depends
please.
on your sensitive. If you are a sensitive person, if you have got a good education, and if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have got a good family. Okay, don't forget these three fundamental things in our life.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
personality, your personality that depends on your family, from your parents,
Oh, support. Yes,
how your
support you mean,
parents,
right?
the figure of a support, the teachers, the school. Give a look to school, okay? This is another fundamental base in our life. Going to school and learning a lot of things. Reading classics, for example, okay? And discovering in classics, in Tolstoy, in the literature in general, what
Mhm.
happens to men in general, and what we can learn from these classics, from the literature of all the parts of the world, okay? So it's really important because this helps a lot in our personal life.
Okay, Rita, you're right, totally. Yeah. Guys, I'm receiving a message here. Okay, okay. Let me see other. Okay, yes, Rita, I think that's all by now. Rita, we have more questions. Below, do you have any question? We can join second part. Rita, are you able to join second part, Rita?
No, I have to
It's
go
okay,
now.
Rita.
But
I will.
anyway, thank you so much because this is something that make me happy. Okay,
Me too.
this kind of conversation, because
Me too,
oblige me
Rita.
to think about myself, and I think and recognize how many important, clever, intelligent, splendid friends I have around the world. So
Yes,
thank you,
Rita.
Bilal. Thank you,
Mhm.
Tony,
You can
and I
count
see
with
you very,
us,
very
okay?
well.
You can count with our support, okay, Rita? Okay, I will continue with Bilal. Okay, Rita, thanks so much
Bye
for
for
coming.
now.
See you. Bye-bye next time,
See
okay?
you. Bye bye.
Right.
Bilal, Ben, let's continue, bro. Bye-bye, Rita. Bro, I think
I
we are
want, I
psychologists.
want, I want to conclude my, because I have to go for dinner. Sorry, Tony.
Ah, okay, no problem, Bilal.
In 5 minutes, but let me conclude. Our this fruitful,
Mhm.
meeting, and I hope that we have many in the future. By
Mhm.
the way, next week let's have more meetings, not
Yes.
only one day.
Mhm.
Okay. You mentioned about joy. Joy is not about ignoring sorrow. It's about choosing light in the midst of darkness. And when we choose
Okay.
joy, we don't just heal ourselves, but we can become a source for hope for
Mhm.
others.
Yes. I know what you mean. In other words, Bilal, when you are suffering, ignore the pain, okay, and try to be a better person, living with this pain, coping, okay, coping with this pain and learning with this problem for the future. Like I said to Rita, one day you realize that to overcome, okay, this problem, and then you learn with this problem, with the situation, and today you're a better person, happy person, and you are ready, of course, for the new challenge, of course will be happening, okay? Will be happening many times in our lives, okay? And below,
Absolutely.
I'd like to say something. We are psychologists, okay? We are here to support one another, okay? Okay, bro, you have what's for dinner, bro?
I think that we have spaghetti for today.
Spaghetti. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, guys, we received Rita today. Dun, dun, dun. Rita, wow, nice one, Bilal. I love spaghetti. Salsa, salsa, sauce.
Yeah, with sauce.
I like
Hot
it, bro.
pepper
I
sauce.
like. So, Bilal, we don't have the Wordle today. Not just spaghetti.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunate. Okay, bro. So,
Yeah.
Bilal, I think Eric Nob is quite quite busy. Yes, I don't know. He said something here. I'm now with my students. Okay, Bilal Ben, it was super nice talking to you, both of you.
Yeah,
It was
same
super nice.
here.
Bye bye, bro.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.